Good evening and welcome to our meeting. I'm going to order the February 24th, 2024, February 24th, 2026 council meeting. Please rise for a pledge of allegiance. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and for a prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As customary in this chamber, we stand for a moment to remember those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, for our first responders, for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. And this evening, the mayor has someone she'd like to recognize.
Last week, we lost an amazing young lady, Alyssa Voss. I would like to take a moment to reflect on our dear Alyssa Voss, a proud graduate of Old Bridge High School and a forever member of our Old Bridge family who left us way too early. To know Alyssa was truly to love her. She had a light about her, genuine, warm, and a little feisty, and completely unforgettable. Whether as a student walking the halls of Old Bridge High School or more recently as a dedicated staff member at the Glen School, she poured her heart into our community. She inspired her students, supported her colleagues, and left a lasting mark on everyone fortunate enough to cross her path. Alyssa represented the very best of Old Bridge, loyalty, heart, and an unwavering love for her hometown. Her family has dedicated decades of service to this community, and now, in this moment of profound loss, they will need the same strength, compassion, and unity that they have always shown others. On behalf of the Township of Old Bridge, we extend our deepest condolences and prayers to her family and friends. May we honor Alyssa's memory by holding our loved ones a little closer, showing kindness a little more freely, and remembering that in Old Bridge we take care of our own. Alyssa earned her wings. A moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor. What a beautiful young lady she was. Our prayer, please, Mr. Pasquetti.
Dear Lord, thank you for your blessings, Lord. And we do pray for our town, Lord. We ask for a blessing, for safety for our first responders. And Lord, we ask, Lord, that we just glorify you in all that we say and do. We ask this. Amen.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Please be seated and welcome to the meeting.
Roll call, Council President. Councilman Asatuli.
Here.
Councilman DePalma.
Here.
Councilman Desai.
Here.
Councilman Merwin.
Present.
Councilman Pasquetti.
Here.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Here.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Here.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Here. And Council President Sohar.
Here.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the official newspapers of the Township on January 8th, 2026, and has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the Township Council will be held on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the meeting. We're going to start with something this evening that Mayor Walker asked me to let her read. So, Mayor Walker, if you're ready.
As you know, our community experienced a historic blizzard with significant snowfall totals and dangerous wind conditions. During the height of our storm, we had extreme weather conditions, but our operations continued. Despite these challenges, snow removal operations are ongoing and will continue throughout the next couple of days. Our Department of Public Works and Parks and Recreation crews have been working nonstop before, during, and after the storm to keep roads passable and residents safe. They are operating in difficult and sometimes hazardous conditions, and we are incredibly grateful for their dedication and commitment. We understand that many streets still need attention, and we ask for your continued patience as our teams work throughout town. Every road will be addressed. This is a historic storm, but our DPW and Parks and Recreation employees are rising to the challenge. Thank you for your cooperation, your patience, and your support as we work fully clear our community. I just want to thank, they have been out for so many hours nonstop, and this has been a historic storm. And we don't intentionally plow your driveways in, just so you know. And I really would like to give them a round of applause for all their work and efforts that they have done for the last few days.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mayor. I think that's well-deserved. Okay, next, we're going to be doing presentation, Ticetown Road Park Natural Soccer Field Project Public Hearing presentation. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Council President, Council. Tonight, Matt Mercurio and myself want to talk to you about a grants application we're trying to apply to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for improvements at Ticetown Road Park. Specifically the soccer complex. I know some of the faces on council may recall that in 2024, we were both in front of you asking for concurrence on a grants application to be submitted for the park for upgrades to the soccer field that would include synthetic turf. That application was not successful with NJDEP Green Acres, but we still recognize that the park does need upgrades. And so we're coming in front of you with an application for a natural sodded field, upgrades to lighting for the park, upgrades to the irrigation system. So we're putting before you here tonight, part of their public engagement requirements is a public hearing. Not only is it a public hearing, but they do have a lot of emphasis on community engagement. And so Matt was very instrumental in making sure that we got out to the public as much information as we can. So the requirements are either one of a community survey to be published for community input, or a community meeting to be held in person to review what the project is and what's proposed to be improved within the park. We did both. We had an online survey. Matt had a presentation that was given to the public on January 22nd at the Civic Center building. And what we did was we also furthered and gave the link out for the survey so that we can get more feedback. We put all the information on our website, Facebook, Twitter, OBTV, and Matt was successful in receiving 100+ surveys back completed. We're going to talk about the results of that survey later. Community meeting was that in-person meeting that Matt had in the Civic Center building where he gave a similar presentation to the one I'm giving you tonight on January 22nd at 7 p.m. He also got letters of support from stakeholders once they heard about the project. So that was about 15 or so letters that the stakeholder groups had given to us. And then obviously we alerted them that there was a public hearing tonight if they wanted to attend. It was very important that this public hearing be 30 days after the close of the community engagement to give people time to digest the information and then to have this hearing tonight. So public hearing requirements. So outside of the community engagement, we have the public hearing requirements. That's tonight's meeting. So we had to publish in the newspaper 10 days prior the notice for tonight's meeting. The grants application packet was posted on our website, olbridge.com/projects. We needed attendance of the quorum, but all of you are here, so that's great. Concept plan, we're going to present shortly to you, along with the cost estimate and just highlights of the environmental impact assessment. And then we talked about the 30-day comment period that the public had. And then at the end of tonight, if the council looks favorably, we're going to ask you to pass a resolution of support and to give the mayor the ability to submit the application. So the project location is along Ticetown Road, just east of Wesley Road. And you could see the aerial imagery above where we're a stone throw away from Route 9. So the park, or Ticetown Road Soccer Field Complex, consists of Lot 14, Lot 15, and a portion of Lot 20, which is the lower portion. It's located in Block 13003, and this is just a copy of the tax map, so you could see just the property boundaries. It's a portion of 20 and a portion of 15, but the majority of the site is on Lot 14. This is the conceptual plan, so you could see the existing striping in the white, sort of striping in the grass, and then the yellow represents just what's proposed. Right now, there's 6 non-regulation soccer fields that are in place, and we intend to sod it and then stripe it for 1 regulation and 6 non-regulation. That's a 7 total, so that's an increase of 1. The smaller soccer fields are good for the younger kids, so that they could practice and have their mini games. You're going to be a little shocked by my cost estimate here. The total is just shy, a little bit over $2 million. The grant application cap is at $1.4 million. Just know that we have the hard and soft costs in here, so it's all encompassing. Just some highlights from our environmental impact statement. We are putting an irrigation system here so that we make sure that the sodded lawn area is established, and it creates an immediate playability surface, and that even surface is actually better for the games themselves because it allows a little bit more safety for the players. And that's a higher quality playing surface. And I don't know if you've been to Ticetown Park recently. Our maintenance, or our Parks and Recreation group do a well job of maintaining it, but there are some bare spots that the sod would help. So like I said, it improves safety, but it's also better for erosion control. The more vegetation you have there, the less continuous runoff you have on the playing surface. So what's our next step? After tonight, certainly we're going to open it up to questions, but we'd like a resolution to be passed, and it's on the consent agenda tonight, for submission of a grant application for the Ticetown Road Park Natural Soccer Field in the maximum award amount of $1.4 million. Matt and I, after this, we would draft minutes so that we could submit that as the requirement for the Green Acres application. On the March 3rd meeting, we'll come back to everyone with those final minutes for a resolution of approval for those minutes. And then the submission is actually this Friday, which is the 27th. You know, Matt is here, and we had worked on the presentation together. He had the presentation on the 22nd, so I took the presentation tonight. He is certainly available here to give you an idea of how well that public engagement went on that community, and how they brought, suggestions and input of their own to that meeting in addition to what we're doing tonight. They were very favorable from what I saw in the input. I also want to highlight, too, there's a gravel lot there. That's going to be resurfaced. It's going to be striped. It's going to have ADA compliant spaces. We're also going to take care of stormwater management on the property. We're going to take care of upgrading the lighting out there to the latest and greatest LED to save us some cost in our lighting. And then we are also upgrading the irrigation system and the sod surface itself that would be striped. But I have Matt here next to me if anybody has any questions for me or Matt. And Matt, before we start, if we can go over just the feedback that you had gotten from the community engagement. They had some recommendations I had saw outside of what we were doing tonight that maybe you want to talk about.
So obviously, our community engagement has been out for a month. Our stakeholders that really helped us with their letters of support, obviously, we had our environmental commission, we had the Shade Tree, we had our soccer club, we had our Just for Kicks soccer club, which is the largest program soccer-wise for special needs children in the state of New Jersey. We got letters of support from the high school principal, from the AD, from the high school coaches. I mean, this is our largest soccer complex that we have in town and have for many, many, many years. We were unsuccessful with turf 2 years ago, but the way that we're hearing, not many turf projects are probably going to be funded anytime soon through DEP. So we were going to go with grass anyway, and then we found out that they're not really looking favorably on turf. But just the amount of people that utilize, if any of you guys go by there on a Saturday or a Sunday or their Halloween, it's jumping with kids. And I think if we're successful with this grant, I just think it's gonna feel like a brand new complex.
I just have one question. Sure. Thank you guys for this, by the way. Someone who's on the board for the Old Soccer Club, I appreciate you guys taking the initiative to do this. The only question I have is for the lining. That's a one-time deal, or is Parks and Rec going to be covering the lining as the seasons go on in the future?
This was just help us break out a schematic. As you know, these fields, you could reorient them however you want. So if you were hosting a tournament and you needed two large ones, you could do two large ones. This was just to elaborate how much usage we could have on the whole platform.
Okay, I see. Thank you. That's it.
Matt, how many kids participate?
And if you're talking between both soccers, Carl, you're probably
All of it.
1,500 if you're counting everybody from what the soccer club had said, and they're always growing. Soccer is a sport. It's usually kids' first sport. It's usually the first one they can play. They're chasing a ball like a bunch of ants, but that's the first. And Old Bridge is a pretty large soccer town.
Thank you very much. You know, the one thing about Old Bridge is we put a lot of money into parks. We have a lot of parks. And if you compare our town to other towns, we have more than others. And it's great to see us utilize the taxpayer dollar in this way to better the town and to have a facility for so many children. I mean, 1,500 children, that's a lot of kids, right? So this is good. This is awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, I would just like to say thank you for all the effort that was put into it. It is very exciting to see how soccer has grown actually in this country, and I look forward to someday when we win a gold medal.
All right. Ended by saying thank you naturally again. My grandson was a pink flamingo this year in that group. So I definitely, not flamingo, panther, pink panther. Oh, he'll say, Grandma, what's the matter with you? He was a pink panther. So I was there every weekend practically and see a real need there. And it does reach a tremendous amount of people. We have a great volunteer organization there with Carl and that whole, everyone just for kicks, you know. It's amazing. So this is definitely a program that we're hoping by doing this, we can get this grant money and maybe improve everything and make it really fun for everybody. Wait till he sees me. I'm going to tell him Pink Panther. Okay, so if we're good, then we're going to ask for a resolution. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
open
That's
the
right.
public and
Public.
then the resolution.
Absolutely. Anyone in the public want to be heard on this? Yes. Sure.
I'm pretty sure it's the municipal water supply.
Okay, did you ever look into the feasibility of actually drilling a well instead of connecting to the municipal water supply? Because why would you need the water from the town? The quality isn't necessary to water grass. You could just get a well and it'd be a one-time cost, and I think it would be, in the long run, better for the club.
Can we just get your name for the record so that?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Ben Spinelli.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, like I said,
no,
if you
thank
could
you.
look into that, so.
We can certainly look into the feasibility. I know that on other projects that would require separate project, all very apart from this one that required digging a well. NJDEP is not keen on giving out permits for for digging new wells. So,
Yeah, no, like I said, I just didn't know if you had ever thought of that, so. Okay, very
No,
good,
thank
thank you.
you for coming forward. Nope, it's appreciated. Is there anyone else that wishes to be heard?
Hey, Matt, did I hear correctly? You're going with grass, real living stuff? Woohoo! That's great because a few years ago I came to this board and asked you guys to rethink the turf because there's known carcinogens that have been associated with it, and so I want to thank you for that decision. I think that was a good decision, and then of course the cost of replacing the fields every 8 years I think is about $2 million a field. So I think that's great savings, and I just want to say thank you for you guys rethinking that, even if the DEP kind of pushed you one way or the other. That's super great. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, is there anyone else who wishes to be heard? No? Okay, seeing no hands, we'll close public portion and we'll come back for a motion for the resolution.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman DePalma.
Right, I was just gonna say, yep.
Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma. Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin. Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you again. Very, very good. Yep. Let's hope for the best now. We'll hope for the best. Thank you. Approval of minutes, a resolution approving regular combined meeting minutes of December 2nd, 2025, and special council meeting minutes of December 30th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Pasquini, second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. And Council President Sohar.
Yes. Bill list, Mr. DePalma.
Bill list as of February 24th, 2026. Accounts payable, February 24th, 2026, $28,778,451.65. Payroll, January 30th, 2026, $1,326,173.84. Payroll overtime, January 30th, 2026, $62,183.58. Payroll, February 13th, 2026, $1,323,650.95. And payroll overtime, February 13th, 2026, $76,810.01. And that is all.
Okay, thank you. Can we have a breakdown, Anna, of the overtime, please?
Yes, for the January 30th payroll, the sworn police overtime was $11,440.58. Deduct grants, $4,268.25 for a total of $7,172.33. And for the February 13th payroll, our sworn police overtime was $25,873.60. Deduct grants, $8,352.11. Deduct ETO, $2,914.43 for a total of $14,607.06. We currently have one officer on light duty and one officer injured on duty. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion for the bill list?
Move it.
Moved by Councilman Pasquini, second by Councilman Asatuli. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin. Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Public hearing, H1, performance guarantee release, Vista at Old Bridge, LP-4, Burger Drive, Old Bridge, Block 20000, Lot 79.13, parentheses 79.11, application number 23-19P. Good evening again.
Thank you, Council President. Council, we're here tonight for bond release of an application entitled The Vista at Old Bridge. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar. It's the new three-story apartment complex building that's located on Marlborough Road between Route 18 and Texas Road. The apartment complex, or the three buildings, also has a clubhouse that's about 4,600 square feet, also has a tot lot, some parking lot, landscaping features, a stormwater management facility, lighting within the parking lot, etc. And then it also, as part of the project, had some off-site improvements, sanitary and potable water connections, and also some slight widening of Marlborough Road. The complex has been built according to the approved plans in front of the planning board. The site was inspected by our consultants, ERI Associates, and we're here tonight because the applicant has asked for bond release. We feel that all the bonded site improvements have been completed satisfactorily, and the performance guarantee that was posted for the project was in the amount of $284,335.75, of which in form of bond, 90%, $255,902.18, and then the cash portion, which represents 10% of $28,433.57. We just ask if council looks favorably on the bond release that the applicant pays all outstanding escrow fees, along with a 2-year maintenance guarantee for the off-site improvements in the amount of $127,436.25, which represents 15% of the total bonded improvements. I'm here tonight with the applicant's attorney, and he's here to introduce himself.
Good evening, Mayor, Council President, Council members. Luke Pontier of the law firm Day Pitney, and as Ms. Shapiro said, I'm here this evening on behalf of the applicant, Vista at Old Bridge LP, and we are hopeful to obtain the release of the performance bond, given the board engineer's satisfactory memorandum outlining that all of the off-site improvements have been satisfactorily completed, and we, as the applicant, will agree, of course, to pay any outstanding escrow fees and to post the required maintenance bond.
Madam President, if I could, especially for the new members, this project is one of our municipally sponsored affordable housing projects from the third round. The township, in conjunction with the Housing Authority, made it possible. Housing Authority contributed a portion of the land for the project, and it has a veterans preference. It's one of the, I think from the town's perspective, and when you do affordable housing, especially municipally sponsored projects, a lot of times they don't get completed. And we had a good working relationship with the developer, and it was a pleasure actually to work with the developer and council. I appreciate all your hard work, and I think it's a project that the council and the township can be proud of.
Thank you very much. We'll take a motion to open to the public, and then I'll come back to the council. Okay.
Move it.
All
Moved
in
by
favor?
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman De Palma. All in favor?
Okay, is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this item? Okay, I take a motion to close the public.
Moved by Councilman Pasquini, second by Councilman Von Stetten. All in favor?
Aye. Okay.
Any opposed? No.
Nope. Okay, council members, Mr. Desai, you had a question? Okay. Anyone? Mr. Merwin? Yeah, Mike. Thank you.
I heard that veterans preference thrown out. Can you tell me how many veterans are in there?
So there is a veterans preference. That was something that was required as part of the approvals process and with the financing. As part of the process, there were not any veterans that fully completed the process, so there are not any veterans in the community currently. But that preference survives, and as you know, new residents are sought, the veterans will continue to have that preference.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else on my list?
Just on that
Yeah,
point,
sure.
Councilman Merwin, and we had worked with the developer again for purpose of notice, and it seems that that's not a unique, I won't call it problem. It's trying to get veterans to come. And we ensured that they went above and beyond what was required for the advertising purposes, because, that was one of the reasons why we won it. So, it's out there, and they'll continue to advertise, so that, when the applicants come through, but, so if you know anyone who may qualify who's a veteran, certainly, I think you're marketing them in-house, right? It's not going through community grants planning. There's information on our website where they can reach out and go through the process.
I mean, my only concern is I don't know whether we're going to the right place. Are we going to veteran organizations, or are we throwing
Yes.
an ad in the newspaper?
No, they went to VFWs, all the veterans organization. I remember having a conversation with Mr. Truslow about that, and we made sure that, right, they reached out to the Veterans Association in addition to non-traditional places, so certainly.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was all part of the process, yeah. Okay, anyone else on the left? No, anybody on my right? Okay, seeing no hands, then I'll ask for a motion.
Move it.
Second.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Pasquini. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Thank you,
So
Council. Have a great
Thank you very
evening.
much.
Thanks.
You have a good evening. Next is appointments, resolution appointing a commissioner to the Housing Authority to fill an unexpired term expiring 5/31/2029. Do I have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Anthony Denoya, please.
Second.
Any other nominations? No? Okay.
Hearing none, we'll close nominations. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Appointment of Mr. Denoya.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Councilman Merwin. Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Public hearing for adoption ordinances for second reading. H1, ordinance amending Chapter 250 of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge entitled Old Bridge Township Land Development Ordinance by amending 250-50 entitled Accessory Buildings and Structures. Yes.
Madam President, if I could, the ordinance was originally introduced back on January 13th, 2026. It was continued at the request of the planner, and if you look at the proposed ordinance, there were some changes suggested by the planning board as they were going through their consistency review. And while the planning board determined that the ordinance itself was consistent, there was concern about putting accessory structures in basically second side yard, which could be a front yard because you're a corner property, but they want to put limitations in the height. So if you look at the ordinance, the language that is italicized and bolded and underlined, that was added. And because, in my opinion, that this would substantially change the initial ordinance because there was no restriction in that regard. To the extent that the council views it favorably, the first step would be to adopt the amendments, and then we'll continue the public hearing. You'll have to re-advertise it, and the public hearing will be on the second meeting in March because there's not enough time to get the notice for the public hearing in the newspaper prior to the adoption, because you need 7 days.
So it'll be the 17th, March 17th.
Correct. If anybody has any questions on that.
We'll ask for a motion.
The motion to adopt the amendments?
Move it.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli,
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten,
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Public hearing will be set for March 17, 2026.
So it'll be renoticed as well,
Right.
the clerk's office.
Okay. H2, ordinance amending Chapter 250 of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge entitled Old Bridge Township Land Development Ordinance by amending 250-49 entitled Application of Yard Regulations. Same thing? That's it?
No,
Nope.
this one, there's
This one,
no changes.
even though it's amended? Okay, fine, I just want to make sure. All right, so we're going to open it to the public. Do I have a motion?
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Asatuli. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open to the public.
Anyone from the public wish to be heard on H2? Okay, seeing no hands, close public portion. Anyone on the left of the council have a question? Anyone on the right? Okay, then I'd like a motion.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Asatuli. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes. H3, ordinance amending the code of the Township of Old Bridge, specifically Article 1, recreation fees, Section 160-2, Hockey League Instruction Hockey. Good evening.
Hello, and thank you again for having me back. The first one that is up is our hockey league fees. We're looking to raise fees for our hockey program by $100. That would be $100 more for the resident fee and $100 more for the non-resident fee. The cost of obviously everything is going up. We have league fees that have been raised. We have assigner fees and ref fees. So an assigner is obviously somebody who distributes out the refs. They get paid. You pay the refs, and then obviously we have our league fees and our coaches as well. We have not raised the fee in a couple years, and we're not looking to change the tryout fee, and we're not looking to get rid of the discount that we did a couple years ago for the goalies. I felt to hit people with a raise in fee of your tryout fee as well as your league fee. For some, that wouldn't be too easy to sustain. If you look at what other rinks charge, there's not that many other rinks that are fully, let's say, transparent with what their fees are. You could reach out to a club and say, hey, I'm interested, or tell me how old your child is. But I know that we are marketably cheaper than everybody in our area. And obviously, our program, we start building ice in September. They're the first groups on those ice in October. Their seasons are getting ready to wrap up now. We have tryouts scheduled in the beginning of March, and then all the way up until literally that rink closes. If anybody has any other further questions, I'm here to answer them.
Well, we have to open up to the public. I need a motion.
Move it. Second.
Who moved? Moved by Councilman Von Stetten, second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We're now open to public comment.
Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this topic? No, seeing no hands, we'll close public portion. I need a motion.
Second.
Moved by Councilman DePalma, second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're closed to public comment.
Anyone on my left have a question? Okay, Councilman Merwin? No?
The, is there any credit given to the first responders in this?
I would have to see.
I don't think the hockey leagues is part
I don't think the hockey league is part of it.
I'll double check.
In light of the new arena that's been put into East Brunswick, I'm sure you're gonna take a hit. Will you think this affect that even more, or?
I don't think so. The information that I'm getting on what that price point is going to be, they have a group called Black Bear. It's a kind of a national group that they're not operating the East Brunswick rink. East Brunswick is operated by the municipality, but they already have ice space given to this group, Black Bear, and they are a very, very expensive. So I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think we're gonna lose the families that are used to our price point, because that price point is going to be significantly higher in East Brunswick.
Anyone else over here? No? Okay, anyone on my right?
How many leagues do we have?
So we have 11 teams, about 140 kids.
I think so after this, yeah, absolutely. Okay, does anyone else know questions? Okay, so then I'll ask for a motion.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. Roll call, Councilman Astatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini. Councilman Mazzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses, motion carries.
Okay, next will be H4, ordinance amending the code of the Township of Old Bridge, specifically Article 8, daycare program, Section 160-32, fees for full-day summer camp.
Thank you guys again. With me this evening is Jillian Dwyer. She's the manager of our Before Care and After Care program, and is also the manager of our full-day summer camp. Obviously, we don't ever like to come up here and raise fees. Similar to our ice arena, our Before Care and After Care and our full-day summer program is a fully self-sustained program. We did this whole report for you. We just got back from a conference, all three of us. There's really nobody who's running a 10.5-hour program for 8 weeks in the summer. You could drop off as early as 7:30. You can pick up as late as 6 p.m. We offer this year, it'll be 39 days, obviously, because we are off on July 3rd this year because the 4th is on a weekend. So we will run June 29th to August 21st. Obviously, we're seeing our minimum wage requirement increase. Trip pricing is increasing, security and transportation costs as well. So you can see what our weekly cost is, what our daily cost is, and what our hourly cost is. Even with the $200 adjustment, parents will be paying approximately $57 to $60 per day, which would be an increase of approximately $5 to the daily rate from 2025. Once again, this back page, there's not many either private or public camps like ours that operate the length of time that we do. And you can see our camp totals back here, our 2024 camp totals, 2025 camp totals, and our projected 2026 camp totals. Down below that, you'll see some of the important stuff that shows similar kind of camps to us. So obviously, East Brunswick is right next door. East Brunswick is only operating a 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is only, length of time is only 6 weeks, and their hourly cost and their daily costs are more expensive than ours. And then the YMCA right down the road, they are about $386 a week, so they're marketably higher than us as well. And then obviously the lower you get, you can see how expensive full-day summer camp can be. Some of the trips that we're looking to go to this year would be Crayola Factory, Funplex, Six Flags, Climb Zone, Dorney Park, I Play America, Top Golf, Tomahawk Lake, New York Aquarium, and Fireball Mountain. And not like our half-day summer camp. You pay this one fee, all your trips are included. Everything's included. There is no other associated cost. Half-day camp, we charge for you to get into camp. Then you pick and choose what trips you want to go on. This is an all-in cost. We do work with families for payment plans, and we still have our CCS, which is run through the state and the county. Those who can't afford it, they go through them, and we have an agreement with them. Yeah, and this is a state licensed, Jill's program before care and after care is licensed by the state, and full day summer camp is licensed by the state as well.
So just for the record, Council President, the title on the agenda reads that it's for Section 160-32. That should be Section 160-31.
The ordinance is correct.
The ordinance is correct, though, yes.
Just the number.
And if anybody has any questions for myself or Jillian, we're here to answer whatever questions you guys have.
First, I need a motion.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, we're open to the public.
Anyone in the public wish to be heard?
Matt, so many questions tonight. So Matt, you know I love the camp because my son went to your camp. So you guys, just so you know, I was a big proponent and supporter of your program. Two questions. One is why the New York Aquarium, not the Camden Aquarium? That.
We went to Camden Aquarium last year.
Okay. Oh, no, it's cool. I mean, it's like kiddie pool versus like a really good Olympic pool. Like the Camden is beautiful and your aquarium is not as up to date. And then the other thing is, have you been to Turbock Zoo? I mean, instead, like that's a really good, and they have, the part of it is because both of them allow for engagement with the animals. And while I understand they went to the Camden Aquarium before, I know I took my son, I had a year-long pass for a few years because my son loved it so much. They love it, the please touch and everything, playing with all the squeezy, touchy animals, and I think it's a great way to engage, but that's really it. I think you guys have a great program, but thank you. Yep.
Okay, is there anyone else in the public who wishes to be heard? Forward, please. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. I just have one clarification. So this is apart from the school, this aftercare program is different from the school one, right? So
the aftercare program that's in the schools, that in the elementary school,
Yeah.
is actually run by us in Parks and Recreation, and Jillian manages that program.
Oh, okay.
It happens to be in the schools,
Right.
but we're the ones who operate the program.
Yeah, and just one quick question. So the money that goes to the school board and the school education, is that money also goes to this program, or it's fully self-funded? Oh, okay, it's fully self-funded. That's different from that. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's what I want to know, because I have this public comment of the taxes which we raise, so just want to understand is exactly, yeah. Thank you so much for the clarity. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else in the public? I'd like to take a motion, close public.
Motion by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Asatuli. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Closed public comment portion.
Okay, anyone on my left, a question for Matt? No? Okay, anyone? Okay.
Special rate. Is there a special rate for the first responders, and if not, why not?
I'm not sure there's one for full day camp, but there is one for half day camp.
Yes, one for half-day camp, but not full-day, because full-day is a fully sustaining program. You pay for the program, it pays for itself. The township does not fund the full-day summer camp program, but for the half-day camp, there is a discount.
That's it.
Okay, anyone else on the left? No? Anyone on the right? Okay.
I just want to say I get a lot of compliments from people about the summer program that you run, and I really appreciate it. I know that the families, feel very confident in everything that you do and the length of time that you provide, not only just the trips, but also all the fun activities that you do. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council. They're excellent programs. Thank you very much. Did Annie want to add something?
Yes, I just wanted to add, I wanted to thank Jillian Dwyer, who's here for the first time at her first council meeting tonight, because I made her come. I thought it was important.
having me.
She's been working on this for a few months now. I know it's not summer, and maybe if we put this out there into the universe, it'll stop snowing. But she has been working on this. These numbers don't just come out of the skies. It's based on the amount of enrollees that she's anticipating, as well as the amount of employees it will take. there are factors we have to take into place if we need nurses at some of these sites or para. So all of those things are inclusive. Nobody pays extra for those costs. So I appreciate all of Jill's efforts, the research that she did with the other camps to get that information. And we want to make sure that we remain affordable for our residents here in town. So thank you, Jillian. And thank you, Matt.
There's a lot to be considered, a lot of different things. I don't think everybody, people don't realize there's a lot to be considered, like you said. Okay, thank you very much. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Asatuli. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Yes. Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Abstain.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Stohar.
Yes. Thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Next will be the consent agenda, since we did C4, Mr. Zelli. Do we?
Don't exclude it, Madam President.
I'm saying I'm going to separate it out, okay? So,
Consent agenda minus C4.
right, exactly. Okay, so I need a motion second, and I'll bring it back for separation.
Move it.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. Councilman Asatuli, any items for separation?
No, thank you.
Councilman DePalma?
None, thank you.
Councilman Desai? Councilman Merwin?
7.
C7. Councilman Pasquini?
No separations, thank you.
Councilman Rizzoli?
No, thank you.
Councilman Von Stetten?
None, thank you.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
No, thank you.
And Council President Sohar.
No. Okay, so this will be a motion for the balance of the consent agenda without C4 and C7.
Can I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman DePalma. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai? Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes. Next will be C7. Councilman Merwin?
Yeah, just, if I guess the attorney can explain it.
I'll do my best.
All right.
So the township currently has a age-restricted senior project called, referred to as Old Bridge Rotary Senior. Actually, it goes back a number of years. It has 204 units, I believe, Vina. I think one of the units is for an on-site superintendent. We've captured half of those units in our second round affordable housing plan. The project was purchased by Old Bridge Preservation LLC. Old Bridge Preservation LLC is proposing to do a massive upgrade to the site. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I know there was a letter of support, but I know it's at least in the tens of millions. I don't know if it got to the hundreds of millions, but it's a significant investment. In order for them to fund the improvements, they're making application to the New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency, which offers special financing for affordable age-restricted housing. They reached out to the township. The township will also be including the remaining 102 units, 93 units in our fourth round plan. That obviously will give us credit towards our fifth round plan when many of us will no longer be here. But that being said, it's another opportunity where it will not require the township to make any contribution from its Affordable Housing Trust Fund. The developer, the developer who we just released the bond, they had a similar program when they built it. They used tax credit, 9% tax credit financing from New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency that enabled them to, again, build it because the cost of the borrowing is less expensive. And then with that, again, they'll be able to do it. With that program, there's a pilot that also gets executed, but it's not a traditional pilot. It's a little bit different. New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance has their own set of laws for these types of affordable financing, and it's one in which it's based upon a percentage of the annual revenue received. And I think they had proposed it would be 7% initially in the first year after they get, after the construction's completed. And based upon their projection, it resulted in about, I think, 400 and, don't quote me, it's 400,000 plus. Actually, the difference between that and what the town receives in regular tax, real estate taxes is actually pretty minimal. But as a requirement for them to apply for this financing, it's necessary that they have the pilot program as well. And similarly, the Vista at Old Bridge has a similar pilot again, and that one's set up the same way under HMFA requirements.
Do we get money into the fund, or?
No, because this is 100% affordable, so they're building, it's not even a percentage, it's 100% affordable. So we're able to have those additional 93 units. This is one of those programs, if you remember, I think some people had asked about, I forgot what town it was, were they, the timing of it, were they, Tom's River. Right, so depending on the timing, we almost made it, but we didn't quite, yeah, we just missed, but we have these 93 that we're capturing, right? So again, that goes towards our next round. So actually going into next round, the town will have 200 plus additional credits towards their fifth round units already being captured.
Very good. If nobody else has any questions, I'll move it.
Moved by Councilman Merwin, second by Councilman Rizzoli. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar. 9 yeses.
All right, next will be discussion, Chapter 42 of the Township Code nepotism as it refers to elected officials and employees. Councilman Rizzoli.
Council President, I'm asked to table until the 17th of March because the chief of police's flight was delayed, like many of the thousands, because of the storm. He was coming here tonight. I was going to ask questions. So I asked that it's tabled until March 17th.
So you're making a motion to table?
Motion to table by Councilman Rizzoli, second by Councilman Merwin. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
No.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Councilman Merwin. Councilman Pasquitti.
No.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
No.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
No.
And Council President Sohar.
No.
Okay, so motion dies.
Council President, point of order. Just want to make a comment. When I put this up, it was such a priority to hear from the chief of police because that's what was said by the council vice president. I need to speak to the chief of police. Even you, Council President, already was concerned about the communication between the chief of police and the council. The chief was coming here tonight to answer questions. His flight was delayed. I spoke to the chief of police. He asked that it be tabled. And I just, for the record, that it was voted down. So I'll put it back on the agenda. You'll be getting my email. The chief of police has a right to be heard. Everybody's a big first responder supporter. I stated my case.
I'll state my case. I spoke to the chief. Thank you.
So now are we going to go forward with this? What is the feeling of the council? All right. Okay, next, ordinance amending Chapter 30, Section 30-8 of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge. Councilman Pasquetti.
Yeah, we discussed this a few months back, and Councilman DePalma requested that Steve Mamakis go out and do a survey, and he did that, came back with, there was no issues.
There's a draft resolution
Let's stop, let's stop. So actually, I think it was maybe 2 meetings ago, where the issue came up, and we had discussed, possibly amending it. I think there was lots of questions or concerns. So I advised council that I would take a shot of drafting an ordinance. I didn't know about any survey. That being said, I took an initial shot, an opportunity to amend Section 30.8 just for the public's purpose. Section 30.8 limits transfers and issuance of new licenses. And basically, the way that the ordinance, it goes back a number of years, I think this ordinance goes back prior to 1973, to the extent that you're an establishment and you've been operating and then you want to transfer a liquor license to another establishment within the township that's not located on basically route highways 9, 18, 34, and 35 with 100 feet of frontage, you have to have 2,000 feet of separation between the two establishments. The ordinance has this convoluted way of measuring the 2,000 feet. In thinking of this, I initially thought, well, obviously there were individuals who purchased liquor license where the 2,000-foot restriction was in place. And is there a way to have a two-tiered ordinance? It got a little complicated, so this is my initial shot. Where basically what I did was instead of this convoluted way to measure it, I reduced based upon conversation, I reduced the separation between the two establishments to 1,000 feet versus 2,000 feet. And then the measurement would be basically from 1,000 feet in all directions of the property where the license is going. And that's the way basically the way the 200-foot list is created for land use applications. So when someone has to file an application for the planning board, the municipal land use law advises the applicant that they have to get a 200-foot list. Our community development department basically measures it. So they'll go to the property boundaries and measure 200 feet in all directions. So I thought that was a model that works. We know how to do it, and they'll actually do the measurement. So I utilized the MLUL as a basis. I reduced it to 1,000 feet in all directions. And the other thing where we had talked about was, ensuring that it's a transfer of an equivalent license, right? Where there's different types of licenses in the ordinance. There's a retail distribution, there's a plenary retail consumption, there's a seasonal consumption, limited distribution license. So I added the language and equivalent so that if it's a plenary retail distribution license being transferred, and there's an establishment that is within 1,000 feet, but it doesn't own a plenary retail distribution license, it owns a different type of license. For instance, a seasonal consumption license, this would not apply. That would allow for the transfer. I think having a two-tiered system kind of got pretty complicated because you would have to basically say, okay, everybody who has an existing license, the old rules apply, and then going forward, the new rules apply, and then you have to sort of track when the transfers occur. Not to say it can't be done, but I haven't gotten there yet. My brain was getting a little slow because I'm not feeling so well. But I think this is a first shot but basically and I kept, there's language in there with respect to premises license prior to July 11th, 1960. I think that just goes back to an old law. It didn't change it other than how you measure it. I can't imagine that those locations still exist, but you never know. And that's it. I mean, and then the only other thing is that I made it prospective so that it would be any new licenses. We don't really have the ability to issue new licenses currently, or transfers that occur the later of the effective date. And I just picked the number, June 30th, 2026, because I tied it to the renewal of liquor licenses. So that's
So it's 1,000-foot radius.
Correct, yep. So you take here's the property, okay. 1,000, and is there a location that, if it's plenary retail, and it's outside 1,000 feet, transfer occurs.
So restaurant, well, we use restaurant, liquor store, doesn't apply.
Doesn't apply.
Restaurant, it would apply, liquor store, but if it's separate, it's fine, but then it's 1,000-foot radius instead of being
Yes.
like
Right.
2,000 feet if you pace it out or
Right.
whatever, it all matters, right? So
That's
I think
basically
that's
it.
because similar, as you were saying, similar to when you have to do the 200-foot notification, it's point and then.
Right.
Yep, okay.
All right.
And then the question I have is for everyone that has a license now, they are or are not grandfathered into the old rule?
Well, yeah, I didn't draft it where they would be because, again, you'd have this two-tiered system. And I'm just trying to think of a way, how do you keep track of that, right?
Okay, no, it's.
I mean, it could, anything could be done, right? I just don't know, it
Okay.
would require the clerk's office to track, basically, you have to, at this point, find everybody who has a license. And say that those people, and then at some point, at what point does it stop? Because they're gonna be transferring it to a new entity, and then we have the new rules.
Yeah, and this wouldn't stop an entity coming in front of us asking
No,
for a
correct.
reprieve.
Yeah, right. You-
Just
correct,
like we
yes.
did with the I guess
Indian
the old
restaurant.
Friendlies, the
Right,
the new
when they
restaurant
moved
concept.
it.
So that would be,
That language,
okay.
stays.
Okay.
right, and that appeal process remains. I mean, I could take a shot at trying to do a two-tiered system. I'm just,
I don't know, though.
No,
no, I just, it's just trying to
Yeah.
think of all different
Just to
options,
protect,
alternatives,
that's the
right?
whole thing that was
Just
concerned.
based upon the conversation that we were having at that meeting, so.
Yeah, you just want to protect, yes.
All right, my concern is, blast them out of here. My concern is these people own a license. This license in Old Bridge may be worth $500,000. Our changes may diminish the value of that
Actually,
license.
you have the opposite.
You think it'll have the opposite?
Yeah, because it's freeing up the ability to transfer. Right now, there's restrictions. For instance, if I have we'll use restaurant. I have a restaurant that has a liquor license, to do consumption, and then I have a liquor store. The current ordinance applies, where you can't do that transfer if it's within 2,000 feet.
Right.
Now, you would be able to do that transfer because they're not competing licenses, right? So, and then similarly, because it's going from 2,000 feet to 1,000 feet, now you have a greater area where you can potentially transfer your license.
Very good.
Right. So it makes it easier for someone to transfer an existing license.
And
And again, the purpose, and I'm just based upon experience and how municipalities typically, with respect to, it's typically done in zoning, but these these distance restrictions were typically to guard against the proliferation of a particular product, right? And probably since this goes back to the 70s, not having a liquor store or a bar in every corner, and you see that a lot of times. You see it with respect to gas stations. Usually, there's a 2,000-foot distance between gas stations, and the courts have found that to be reasonable. You can have them, but you can't eliminate competition.
Right. And the other thing, this Mamaka survey.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Who authorized the survey? All right, and where is the survey? Or just special, you get special treatment depending upon the party or something that you're in. It's no we were never given this survey that it's already on the record.
This is the
that
first
there's
I
a
heard about
survey.
it. He was never.
There's already a record on the record that there's a survey. Where is that survey?
It was informal.
Who gave them the authority to do that survey? You're the administration.
I did not know anything about this survey.
Okay,
Got it
there
for the
you
first
go.
time tonight.
Thank you.
This is the first we heard of it. There was no survey done.
Where is it? It doesn't exist.
It's on the record that it exists. He just testified to it.
I'm sorry, may I say something? What does party have to do with this? I'm confused.
What?
What does party have to do? I'm confused.
Well, I surely don't get any special pressure.
I don't know what party has to
Oh,
do.
yeah, I know. You know what party.
No, I don't.
Oh, well, you do. You're part of it.
No, I'm
Stop.
confused.
Stop.
I'm confused, Dave.
Well, I know that, but.
I know I'm confused. I'm just asking a question. I'm being nice and kind. I'm being nice and kind, sir. Just ask the question. Just a question. If you don't mind me asking. Just ask the question. What is the party? I'm confused.
Listen, I don't get any special treatment around here, but evidently somebody does. He's got a survey. He's got a result of the survey, but nobody else does.
What's party? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so again, for the record, my record, I don't know of a survey. A survey wasn't provided. And, this is based upon discussions raised, the issue was raised by Councilman Pescitti, discussion with, again, meetings ago. So if you think you're okay with this, we can get ready for introduction at the next council meeting.
Mark, I have a question.
Sure.
Subsection E, about the surveillance system, only retaining it for 7 days. Can we max that out to like 30? Oh, sorry. Can we max out to like 30? Because obviously the police will have, just to be on the safe side, because sometimes an investigation could lead you there. It's not always 7 days.
Right, I don't, again, that goes back in the day, so
Sometimes investigations are fluid,
I agree. We can change that to 30.
7's kind of like a little pushing it. Unless we're CSI on TV where we can work faster. You know?
All right, I'll get ready for next meeting for introduction. Yep.
All right. And 30 days with that. Okay, thanks. All right, okay. Next is health insurance and OCA benefits, Councilman Desai.
I have to bring this issue for discussion for couple of reasons. I was a participant and recipient of the healthcare benefit provided by Township through the Braven and OCA also since January 22. On or around December 15, I received a letter from our business administrator that my health insurance and OCA benefit both will be terminated as of December 31st, 25. I understand, but I never recall. She's citing, and I called afterward to our clerk also to have a minute when it was discussed. Our clerk said it was discussed in executive session, so she could not produce the minute. I understand that part. But there was never a vote taken for this kind of resolution. According to later, I have, if anybody wants to have it, can you pass it if somebody wants to see the letter? She says this was done due to the discussion in February 24 and then subsequently in October or something like that, 24. That discussion was taken. And I recall I was in one meeting and it just discussed that all benefit to council people, particular healthcare or OCA, will be terminated at the end of their term. I understand that part also. But why end of the term? Why not everybody was terminated on December 31st? See, what happened, I don't know who else was terminated, but I was terminated, that's for sure. And some people are still under that benefit.
So at the time, I recall.
And that's my problem. If one should have it, then everybody should have it. If you want to discontinue the whole program, I think it should be across the board. That is my request.
So if I recall correctly, during those meetings in early '24 and then later in the fall of '24, These were items that were brought up during executive session. I was not here when council first was afforded benefits in
Yeah, I understand.
2022, but at the time, it was discussed in executive session at length that the current benefits would end for any current council members at the end of their term, current terms. So whenever your term ended, whether you were reelected or not, your benefits would terminate. So at the time, there were three individuals, Councilman Desai and two other individuals on the council, that this rule applied to, and that rule was followed for all three of those individuals. There is one person that still receives that benefit, but that was in accordance to what was discussed and approved by the council during those executive
No, I
discussions.
appreciate, Anna, what you try to help me out. But my main question, even today, and I had a call to our attorney. I have some text messages back and forth between him and me. And I was keep asking the one question. Was the vote taken, or should we have a vote or not for any resolution or any decision?
So can I talk?
And he said, round and round, he said it's a part of the budget process.
That's right.
Everything is part of the budget process. Yeah, okay, sorry, Mark. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. So again, the township has certainly as long as I've been here, has had a policy that afforded elected officials with health care. There's no ordinance, there's no resolution. It's been a policy. And how that policy gets affirmed, just as you stated, is that the payment of the benefits are part of the budget process. Budget process gets reviewed, gets voted upon. Subsequent, when the issue came up relative to continuing that policy, there were discussions in executive session, and consistent with those policies, it was agreed by the majority of the council members that those benefits would end when the individual, if to the extent that they ran and their term ended and they were reelected, they would no longer get it. Because of the fact that it's been a policy and the process by which it was afforded to council members was, again, through this process of putting in the budget, adopting the budget, there was nothing to reverse. There was no resolution to reverse. There was no ordinance to reverse. It was the consent of council because it's been not just a stated policy, it's been an actual policy through actions. So that's why there was no necessity to have the vote. And again, at that point, even former Councilwoman Jill DeCaro had participated in those discussions, and you were present and had agreed as well. So that's been the policy. It's consistent with, again, I think other agencies may do the same thing, but where to the extent that anyone had received benefits, if they ran again and were reelected, their benefits would cease. And because of that, there's only one member currently who still has those benefits based upon the fact that they were afforded to them when they first were elected. And this was the first action that actually any council had taken to cease future health care benefits. So no, it doesn't matter. That's how we got to where we are now.
I think the misunderstanding that there's staggered terms, between ward council members and at large. That must be the misunderstanding. It was when their terms are over and two terms were over and one wasn't. So that's what it's about, the terms. I think that's what the misconception is, that they didn't realize when it's the term and the term was over.
I have a question. How do we have council people up here taking state health benefits enrolled in violation of Chapter 78? Councilman Piscitty was in for 2 years in violation of Chapter 78. Has there been any restitution? I don't know who else was involved. I think there was some other people in the article, but he was taken in violation of Chapter 78, which I recall, there is no gray area Chapter 78. Elected officials can't be in it. So I just wanted to give a little context here because there is a dollar value assigned to health insurance. So now we're creating a pay scale throughout the council because that's exactly what it's doing. So Chapter 78 was put in place so that the state employee made significant contributions to the insurance. So to give you an example, it goes by a percentage of the premium with the salary of the employee. That could be, I'm gonna go police because that's what I know. There could be a cop getting a $300 raise, gets immediately canceled out because of Chapter 78. So my question is, elected officials aren't allowed to be in state health benefit. Who authorized the enrollment of Councilman Piscitty? And has he paid back because he wasn't supposed to be in it? Because we seem to have different rules for different folks here.
Probably.
Who's authorizing insurance? You got to be employee for insurance, which
An individual, I think it's the previous business administrator.
I don't care who it was. An elected official under Chapter 78 cannot be enrolled in the state health benefit plan. It doesn't matter who, we can point the finger anyway. Is Councilman Piscitty going to be made to make restitution? Anybody else involved? If one can't have it, none can have it. And I think you would agree, when it comes to contract time, there is a dollar value placed on insurance. So now we're creating an unfair pay scale within the council. And all this grandfathered in, not grandfathered in, until I don't see nothing in writing, nothing was voted on. I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, it's health insurance, it's using taxpayer money, there should be a vote, there should be an ordinance, and that will resolve everything. But I still want an answer on Councilman Piscitty with the Chapter 78.
I have a question. Decide. I have a question for you. 1 second. Decide. 1 second. Were you there? Were you at that meeting? Were you at the meeting when we just, let me ask the question. Let me ask you a question. Let me finish. Let me ask you one question. Were you at that meeting?
I think one of the meeting I was there.
Were you?
There was two meetings we are
Okay.
talking, February 24 and October 24.
Okay. Just wanted to know if you were there.
So
That's
I
all.
may be in one meeting.
So you were there. Okay, good. Thank you.
And again, even this later language, it clearly says, although this policy was temporarily reconsidered in October 24, Council reaffirmed in February 24 decision would remain in effect. So, reaffirm by what? By vote? Mr. Counsel, my question, why the vote is not taken?
Because the fact that it was a stated policy and the policy was not changed to the extent that it afforded the healthcare benefit. The change in the policy was ending it for future members if they were reelected. That's why. And again, the process that the township had adopted relative to healthcare was always through the budgetary process. And that's where the votes came by on an annual basis.
Okay, I'm not satisfied with the answer from council because I had checked with some other business administrator in other town and they says everything should be taken vote. I have no problem terminating my policy. But why single out me and somebody else?
So
I think if we let it go like this, in future this is going to be repeated. Not this particular issue, some other issue. You discuss in general and you just take granted it is approved.
So, Mr.
No.
Mr. Desai,
I
when we,
think
when we had these conversations, closed session or not, 6 of the 9 of us were up here, right? Obviously, there are 3 new council people. 6 of the 9 were up here. The conversations that we had, and I'm not going to go totally into it, was, and we all agreed that at the end of the current term for every council person, they would no longer be eligible for said benefits. There are, as Council Vice President has stated, we have staggered terms, and I'll just use me for an example. My term ends at the end of next year. Should I have been afforded or I've had it, then I would be eligible to have it to the end of next year. But it was also agreed upon that if you do not have it, you are no longer eligible at all. So should I have wanted it 2 days afterwards, we wouldn't be able to have it. It was agreed upon by everybody that was up here on this dais. There was 9 of us. All 9 of us agreed to it. Why it's coming up now, I understand that you decided to run again. You won, but the decision and the agreement was between all of us was exactly what you said at the end of your current term. It wasn't for everybody. It was at the individual term. So whomever has those benefits today can continue to have it if they're an at-large till the end of next year. And should that person decide to run again, then it would cease, just as if ward council would have ceased at the end of last year.
I understand, thank you. But see, Eric, this letter state that state health benefit program. So if I am not qualified or eligible under state health benefit, then nobody
was
should
all-
be.
it was-
Nobody
Karen,
should be qualified.
When we had the conversation specifically was around events that happened around that time with the state health benefit plan, right? So as a council and as a administration, there was a decision made that how it would be handled going forward. The decision was, and the conversation was, there were folks that were in it that can continue to have it until the end of their current term. If your term ended at the end of next year, theoretically, you would still have it, and no one would be saying otherwise. So at the end of your current term, you decided to run, you ran again, you won. Regardless of when that letter came to you, you knew going into the election what the, lack of a better term, rules of engagement would be for this. So why this is coming up, I don't understand. Is there, you didn't understand what was going on, or?
No, I understand. My biggest question, we take the vote for each and everything what we
Yeah,
decide.
but we don't have anything codified. If you're asking right now, should we have something codified? Yes, let's put it in code. We have a compensation ordinance, we could put it in there that what we are eligible for and what we're not. But at the end of the day, what'll happen is whomever has the benefits today will continue to have them until the end of their current term. And that's what would be written in the compensation ordinance. Then should a future council decide that they want to then grant benefits, they'll have to overturn that. Is that what you're looking to do?
I will reserve my rights to continue this. I'll check with my attorney and see what is right
Your
and what
attorney
is
doesn't
not.
have anything to do with the ordinances that we put in the
No,
council.
I have to.
Well, Councilman Desai, with all due respect, you actually were there.
I
And to
want
Eric's
to
point, no, you were there,
challenge
and now
our
you're
attorney's
changing it.
decision.
We're asking you one question. Why are you changing it now? You were okay with it when we all spoke. That's exactly what Eric and I were saying. Why are you changing, we're just asking a question. Why are you changing it today?
I'm talking to.
Well, it's a discussion. You
this
put it as a
administration
discussion.
To continue this from long time.
Mhm.
But when I have no avenue left, I have to discuss.
But didn't you make the decision with us, yes or no?
I personally think I was signalized.
What? No, did you make the decision with us? It's just a
because
question.
Everybody knew that my term is expiring.
Did you make the decision?
Hmm?
Did you make the decision with us, yes or no?
I did not get it.
You didn't, so he asked if you,
Did you make the decision, exactly what Eric and I were saying, that after your term is up, that's it, and whoever still had it will continue during their term? Did you, just please answer me. Did you ask for a discussion? We're discussing it. Did you say it was okay, yes or no?
I had no choice. What?
No, you had a choice. You had a choice. You had a choice. You made the choice on that day, and now you're making a different choice. So I'm asking you a question.
I don't
Why
recollect.
today, and it's now February 24th, you waited another 2 months, why now and not then when we all agreed upon it? That's what we're trying to ask you.
Mr. Actually, that's why I requested minutes to recall my memory.
Okay.
But there is no minutes.
So do you feel like everything we explained to you is pretty much what
There
happened?
is no minute of February 24 or October 24, according to Ms. Hutchinson.
And you don't remember? Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Desai, there were minutes. There were the executive session minutes where
Yeah, you
we
told me
stated-
that executive committee, you don't keep minutes.
No, I provided you with the minutes.
I have it. I'll pull it out tomorrow and
Okay. I
check
have
it.
the minutes. There are executive session minutes, and the matters that we went into executive discussion for are in the minutes. I can provide them to you again if you would like.
I'll check one more time.
For the attorney, where does the giving of benefits, healthcare benefits to the council, is it? There is nowhere since,
So again, right, that's my point, right? It's been a policy. Right, well, that's what I'm explaining. There isn't, as far as I'm aware, I've never seen it, there's never been a resolution or an ordinance But again, it's a policy that the township had implemented many years ago. And even when, I don't know if you receive health care or not, but you were on the council before, you were aware of the process. Mr. Rizzoli was on the council before, so he was aware of the process, where again, where the issue would be as part of the funding of the budget, and that's where the discussion would come by. And that was all explained. As a matter of fact, again, in relative to the affording of those benefits, the benefits received by Mr. Desai are not state health benefits because he doesn't qualify based upon his age, so he aged out, right? So the restrictions regarding Chapter 78 were inapplicable. As a matter of fact, also on Chapter 78, the issue with that is it's not that elected officials aren't entitled to it. The question becomes being able to account for working 35 hours a week. That's the issue. And what happened was the state, when they made the change to the state health benefits plan, there were supposed to be regulations dealing with how do you quantify the 35 hours for elected officials who receive the benefit. And they never came through with those regulations to quantify it. And you know, there was various, I think, cases out there relative to how that was captured. So because of that, that was one of the part of the discussion, that those council members who were on state health benefits, they would be taken off to address the issue of the fact that there wasn't clarity as to how you quantify the 35 hours that was required to receive benefits as an elected official. And so those issues were addressed, and similarly, the council at the time was unanimous that they felt that the benefit should not continue, but also, to be fair, those who had received it when they first joined were allowed to continue it until their term ended, because that seemed to be the appropriate and fair way to deal with the policy.
So you're saying there's a gray area in Chapter 78? Now, if you didn't make the cut as an employee, you were precluded from the health insurance.
So again, I didn't say it was great.
Okay, I just wanted to.
I said the issue had to do with capturing the number of hours for elected officials, and my understanding is DCA or was supposed to issue. You know, how can you quantify that? You know, what are the steps that would be taken? And that wasn't necessarily forthcoming. So again, to resolve that unknown, the council administration felt the best thing to do was to cease those benefits and to moving forward, and that's what occurred.
The Chapter 78, we're going out of the state health benefit plan.
Correct. We are.
So
right.
We're on the council now.
We could. So I mean, that's the whole point. It only applies to state health benefits. You could, if you're not in state health benefits, there's no prohibition against a municipality providing health care to its elected officials.
Well,
It was only those who were in state health benefits, right? So and the town was never in state health benefits until, I don't know when they first went in, 22, 23, whenever that was. That's why it became an issue. Prior to that, they weren't in state health benefits. And again, you know, to the extent that you want to codify it, I'll draft an ordinance that, you know, basically confirms what was discussed back then, and we can have a vote on it. It's not a bad idea, because of the fact that you're transitioning out of state health benefits.
All right. So did we try to circumvent Chapter 78 by issuing?
Nope.
Mr. Desai and
No, they were not.
Others.
They were not. They were not. They were not in the state health benefits.
I understand that.
So that's
was that an attempt to circumvent because they weren't allowed in the state health benefit?
Because they were not. They didn't qualify because of their age, is my understanding, right? So they weren't in the state health benefits because of that. So it's not a matter of circumventing. They just were never in it.
What do you mean they didn't qualify because of their age?
Right. When you're a certain age, you go to a different program. You become Medicare eligible, and there's a different program for Medicare eligible individuals.
And we had that. We had that in the state health benefit package.
No, it was not part of the state health benefits. It's a separate plan.
Wasn't?
Yep.
I was on it.
Well, I don't know.
As a retired employee, I was on it.
That's different if you're on as a retired employee. I'm talking about the elected officials. It's a different program.
And you're saying that was not addressed in Chapter 78?
You are not, again, it goes to the matter of not being precluded to provide health care. It only had to do with if you were under the state health benefits plan where the limitation or so-called restriction came into play. And for those individuals, again, Mr. Desai and other individuals, they were not, the insurance that was offered was not part of state health benefits. So again, town's transitioning into a different carrier. Effective, when is it?
April 1st.
So arguably, if the town wanted to, all the elected officials could have health care if under.
Well, that's been the policy.
That had been the policy, correct.
And nobody did away with that policy.
Yes, they did.
How? There's no vote.
So again, the policy was affirmed and confirmed through the budget process, right? So that was the discussion. And that's how it was never written, was never articulated by ordinance or resolution. So again, the fact is that was the discussion. That was what the consent was. So if you look at the budget, those monies were not placed in the budget for health care for those individuals after that agreement was in place.
There's been no budget since then. There's not even a budget. The budget's not written yet. No, there's not. They were in it last year. They were in the health benefit. They were in it. So it wasn't done in the budget.
Because his term hadn't ended. His term hadn't ended.
Right, so it was in there. And we have not written a new budget.
But his term hadn't ended, so that's why it was in there. If his term had ended and he was reelected.
Again, there was no vote. You were in executive session. There was no vote.
So there was no official vote, but again, the discussion and the policy.
There was no what?
The discussion and the policy.
There was no what?
Continued.
There was no official vote?
No, there was not a vote.
There was no vote, exactly.
So it doesn't mean you can't end the policy, and you can't enact the policy.
How can you end the policy without a resolution or an ordinance?
The same way that you provided health care without a resolution or an ordinance for all those years. Same way. Same way.
Mark, the fact that we have full-time employees who are paying thousands of dollars, and we're going to say we're going to put council people we know the hours we put here, and the state health benefit is absurd. I think as of June 28, 2011, if I didn't make the cut, I paid, okay? The fact that we're going to try to codify to give council people what people who work every day is insane. And I totally object to it. And it's also creating a pay scale here, which, listen, we can go back and forth with this all night. The fact of the matter is, we both know, anybody involved with contract negotiations know there's a dollar value put on health benefits. I know in the police world it is, because it's one of the things that's always thrown in our face. And I'm not even gonna, there's no way you're gonna sell me on that someone up here deserves state health benefits when it adversely affects thousands of employees. And let's face it, this also, in essence, we could call it defunded state employees from their personal accounts, because people have never financially recovered from it.
So nobody's on state health benefits.
I understand it, but my point is, well, we did have a councilman on. He was violation of Chapter 70 for 2 years.
So again, I explained that, and right, and the contribution component continued to apply to council members, which is
See, what
Chapter 78.
what happened here, if according to this letter and according to my talk with Anna and Mark and Kay, if it was discussed in 24 2 time, and most of the people were in favor to discontinue the health insurance at the end of the term, then why vote was not taken? Whatever reason, and all of a sudden, sleeping giant woke up in December, and this letter come out to me and somebody else also. I don't want to name anyone, but I know that this letter, somebody woke up.
Nobody woke up. This was me doing my due diligence to remind those that were no longer having the benefits. So that's what I was doing.
Why we were waiting from October to 24 to December 25?
So, Mr. Desai, when was that letter dated?
Eric,
When is your letter dated, though?
December 15, I gave you the copy.
No, I don't need it, but so, just so you know, that by the time that the election is certified, that's only like 2.5 weeks after the certification of the election.
But according to later, and according to discussion, this was decided in executive session.
And you were there. And you were there.
Yeah.
You are, because I was here.
One I was there, one meeting, there's two meetings.
The meeting that we decided
Okay.
was the first meeting, right? Because we had Councilwoman DeCaro is next to me. I even think that, that John was here as well. And when we
but
discussed it, we
Eric-
all decided though.
Eric, I agree with you, I was there.
Okay.
But if it was decided finally in October meeting, October 24th.
It was decided in February.
Yes, and reaffirm in February, October. So why we waited from October 24 to December 25 to notify?
I don't know about the reaffirming. The decision was made in February.
According to this, it's
Listen,
reaffirmed.
I didn't get the letter. I'm telling you what my recollection is. And being at the majority of all council meetings since I've been a councilman, that decision was made in that one meeting. We had a pretty lengthy conversation, if I'm not mistaken, about this. And we all made a decision as a group, right? And I'll say this, across party lines, right? It didn't matter who it was.
No, I'm not talking party.
Mr.
thing
Desai,
here.
every single person that sat up here decided what was the path going forward. And the path going forward was that at the end of the person's current term, that it would cease. And should you not have it today, you don't have it ever. So for me, for an existence, I've never had it. So if I decided the next day, hey, I need it because, God forbid something happened, I was not going to be afforded that. That was the decision made. Yeah, everybody.
And Councilman Desai, one thing, the reason why you got a letter December 15th is to remind you, what you already know. So what Anna's trying to tell you is she's letting you know that it's going to end, which you already knew for about 8 months. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It's just giving you a reminder to let you know you knew already.
I think I don't want to make it too personal, but I want to say that we should respect the rules and law. That everything we decide, we should have discussion and the vote, final vote to affirm yes or no. Anything.
We gotta move
Not
past this.
only this, health. Anything. We do most of the thing, everything almost. Thank you.
Is there anyone else on council? No? No? We're good? Okay. Report of the township clerk.
I have no report, Council President.
Report of the township attorney. Nothing report, Madam President. Okay, administrative report, Anna.
Thank you. Number one, Hometown Heroes Banner Program. We are now accepting applications for the 2026 Hometown Heroes Military Banner Program. The Hometown Heroes Military Banner Program salutes the brave men and women currently serving or who have previously served our country in the U.S. Armed Forces. Applications and more details can be found at obridge.com/hometownheroes. Upcoming food bank drive. The Township Food Bank will have a Grand Slam food drive in April. Details of this drive will be available soon. Everyone is encouraged to check our township website for monthly updates for the food items the food bank needs for future drives and events. Also, for updates, please follow the food bank's group page on Facebook. For more information, please visit obridge.com/foodbank. Old Bridge Food Bank receives grant for facility improvements. Funding for the township's congressionally directed spending project has been secured as part of the fiscal year 2026 appropriations minibus package signed into law on February 3rd with vital support from Senator Cory Booker, Senator Andy Kim, and Representative Bonnie Watson-Coleman. Through this investment, the township has been awarded $500,000 in FY 2026 community project funding for the Old Bridge Food Bank Building Improvements Project, enabling long-needed capital upgrades and expansion of the food bank facility within the municipal complex. The one-time infrastructure investment will fund will fund building expansion, installation of a walk-in refrigerator for proper storage of perishable items, additional shelving for non-perishable goods, and upgraded flooring throughout the facility, improving food safety, storage capacity, and operational efficiency. These enhancements will strengthen our ability to serve low-income residents, address the growing demand for food assistance, and ensure the food bank can continue serving the community with dignity and effectiveness for years to come. For more information or to learn on how to support the Old Bridge Food Bank, please visit please visit oldbridge.com/foodbank. And this concludes my report.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comments for Anna, questions? No? I'd ask for a motion to approve.
Desai, second by Councilman DePalma. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Report is accepted.
Next will be public comment.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. This section is open for any topic or items in the consent agenda in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Old Bridge Rules of Council. The council asks the public limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Only one member of the public shall approach to speak to council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker is finished with their allotted time. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. Township clerk will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting. As you approach the microphone, please state your name, no addresses.
Okay. Need a motion to open to the public?
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Van Stetten. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open to public comment portion.
Okay. Anyone? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Freshta Tayyib. Standing here tonight, my heart is full. Last Monday, Old Bridge held its first ever crescent lighting event. When we first imagined a crescent lighting ceremony in Old Bridge, it was rooted in something very simple, belonging. The crescent is a symbol recognized by many Muslim families as we enter the sacred month of Ramadan. But last week's event was about something even greater than a symbol. It was about community. It was about visibility. It was about unity. Old Bridge is a beautiful, diverse town. Families from different backgrounds, faiths, and cultures call this place home. And when our township chose to support and illuminate this crescent, it sent a powerful message that every family here matters, that every tradition has value, and that inclusion is not just spoken about, but demonstrated. To our Senator Owen Henry, our Mayor Debbie Walker, and Township Council members who attended and supported, President Sohar, Vice President Belli, and Councilman Von Stetten, thank you for your support and attendance. Special thank you to Councilman Desai and Merwin for attending and sharing words of reflection. Your presence proved that we can be united and work as one. Councilman DePalma, thank you for your email. I hope you're feeling better. We thank you for your leadership and for recognizing the importance of representation. To our superintendent, Dr. Sasso, Board of Education members, Marjorie and Brooke who attended, thank you. And to the school community, thank you for supporting our students with the new lunch program and ensuring they are seen during Ramadan. Thank you, Officer Vitale, for keeping us safe. They say to leave the best for last, so here goes. Thank you to the hardest working township business administrator, Anna Feltz. Thanks to Matt Mercurio and Erica for working hard and efficiently to make this the best program it could possibly be. Your efforts do not go unnoticed in this historical event. To our planning committee team, to every volunteer, sponsor, and resident who encouraged this effort, your belief and partnership made this possible. As someone who grew up embracing multiple faith traditions, I have always believed that when we learn about one another, we grow stronger together. Lighting this crescent does not take away from anyone. It adds to the beauty of who we are as a town. May this light represent compassion, generosity, and reflection, values that unite us all. We had 80 RSVPs, and Anna's my witness that over 400 people attended. This is a true testament that when we come together, we only grow stronger and better. From my family to yours, thank you for standing together, for supporting this vision, and for making Old Bridge a place where everyone can feel at home.
Okay. Good evening, again. Good evening.
Hi, Councilman. Hi, this is Vidit Jain. I live in 29 Gazania Drive. First of all, thanks for everyone coming here. I know the weather is bad outside, and I didn't expect this meeting to be here, but as you guys are here, I can see that you care about the people of the township, right? Because so I came here for the same empathy and want you to listen my next comments, which I want to make, right? So we live in a society called Oaks at Glenwood that is behind the new shop, right? That is there, right? Lot of people have already heard about our plea for the new warehouse that is coming up just besides my house and other houses as well, which is near to a Superfund site. As we are speaking, I believe there are some excavation or some construction is already started, which is a very dangerous thing, being a Superfund site already there. It can pollute our soil, our air, and everything, right? My first question to the council is why the warehouse has been approved and a residential is put in place both at the same time. Is there a planning mistake, a zoning mistake, where that has been left? This council can put an investigation what happened in the first place. The warehouse is not there yet, but now as the families of 200 plus homes sits there, right? What Whenever we come to a planning board or a zoning board, it's all been said that the warehouse is already pre-approved before our community comes there. But that should not be a rationale to give to a warehouse near to a chemical or a Superfund site where the residents are sitting. I call Old Bridge as my home and for my kids as well, right? So I want this councilman to hear this thought, think about it, see what we can do to make sure if the warehouse is there that is coming, it's not some short vision of a quick economic development, but a longer vision for residents' good health and prosperity. So I really, really plead this council to think about what is lacking here. And it is just not about one community. There can be such simple same things happening everywhere else as well in Old Bridge, where industrial development is happening, but our residents are already there, or the vice versa. It's not good for either of them, right? My second point, which I want to make here, apart from the warehouse development, is there is a builder called Brunity who is responsible for the overall development of that area. First of all, that builder has done a very bad job of maintaining the roads. We are almost 3+ years living in that community. The main roads are still not paved. Whenever we come to this councilman and this forum, they are always been told they keep it for all the development has to be done and everything. But from last 3 years, everything, our cars, our families are using that road. There is no such excuse that if all the development has to be completed, then only they will pave the road. What's going to happen if then some accident happens
Sorry,
before that?
sir, that's your time.
Oops, yeah. Thank you.
Good evening, Nina Joknowitz. First, I wanted to thank the Old Bridge Department of Public Works. The rally, you guys did a great job. And on a personal note, also the Old Bridge PD helped me out with the down wires on my property. I was 48 hours without electricity, freezing our tushies off. But I want to go on to a more important discussion other than thanking both departments and, of course, all of the departments in Old Bridge who helped out. On February 13th, News 12 reported that a chaotic scene was in Linwood, New Jersey, where elementary school students were seen fleeing a bus stop during an ICE raid at their apartment complex. Then on February 18th, the Politico reported that an associate deputy attorney from the Department of Justice acknowledged the administration's violation of court orders issued by New Jersey judges more than 50 times in the past 10 weeks in cases stemming from the Trump administration mass deportation program. To quote the same article, Judge of Minnesota recently assessed that there were more than 94 court orders in January. The judges across the country have seen this rampant and purposeful violations of their orders. Yesterday, during a Capitol Hill hearing, a former ICE attorney who was training new recruits in Georgia said before Congress, they ceased all of the legal instructions regarding the use of force. That means the cadets are not taught what it means to be objectively reasonable, very standard which the law requires them to meet when deciding whether or not to use deadly force. I know that Councilman Rizzoli knows all about this. He was a police officer many years. That there is clear, irrefutable pattern of consistent and willful violation of federal, not only state judicial orders across the numerous jurisdictions, including New Jersey. Putting it into context of the information that is trained specifically in the area of compliance and becoming increasingly imminent presence of ICE presence in our town. It's irrefutable. It's also irrefutable at this point that the interactions of ICE are violation of actual rights of actual citizens here born in this country. I can't stress enough how narrow and procedural this question is, and how it is not just a political thing, because it is not, and that all the people of Old Bridge do not deserve, but are entitled to an answer that is just as narrow and procedural. Sorry for the typos. What are the plans that are being made by the township to provide residents with safeguards that support both the physical harm and legal abuses that may occur by ICE? I think our residents do deserve an answer. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to be heard? Good evening.
Ben Spinelli. I just have actually an easy problem for you guys to solve. It's regarding the recycling program that the county implemented, the single can once every 2 week pickup. Prior to COVID, we had the ability to drop off our recyclables down at the township, bottles and cans and cardboard and what have you. After COVID, they got rid of the ability for us to drop off bottles and cans, and now we're kind of stuck with this once every 2 weeks. Now, if we forget to put the can out or they miss us on a pickup, then we're stuck for another 2 weeks until we can get a pickup. Is there any way that you guys can get us a dumpster back down at the township where we could dispose of our bottles and cans as opposed to waiting for the county to come pick them up? So that's my question. Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to be heard this evening? Okay, seeing no hands, then I will ask for a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Mr. Razzatulli and second by Mr. De Palma.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Desai? Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini? Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Bonstead?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli?
Yes.
Council President Soho?
Yes.
Madam President, if I could, afford me a few moments, and only because there's been a couple of residents who've come up to talk about the Oaks development.
Yes.
And there's a number of reasons why council is not in a position where they can openly discuss it. Number one, there's an active application. That application had been submitted some time ago and was deemed complete. There's one member of council who sits on the planning board, and then there's the mayor or the mayor's designee who also sits on the planning board. So to the extent that there was any discussion relative to that application, all you do is creating an appealable issue that I can tell you could be seen as prejudging an application. And that just would assist the applicant in to the extent that something were to happen against them, to allow them to use that for appeal purposes and overturn that decision. Secondly, the warehouse hasn't been approved. That's not the case. That site It's been part of a redevelopment area that was created, how long ago, Vina? I'm sorry to call out. 2006. So that was created in 2006. That whole area was a redevelopment area. And so the redevelopment area, basically the plan that was created ultimately as part of that redevelopment basically confirms or sort of codified what was allowed to be developed anyway. There was no new zoning created as part of that development, right? It's the same, it was industrial. It was industrial before the area was determined to be an area of development. It was industrial after the fact. And you know, one of the things that when an area is created as an area of redevelopment, after the designation's made, you have to get, basically DCA looks at that designation. And to the extent they have any issues, they're allowed to comment on it and saying, hey, there's environmental sensitivity or whatnot. That apparently didn't happen in this instance. They okayed the redevelopment area and they allowed it to exist. And the other thing that you have to, I know there were some discussions and Councilman Rizzoli had reached out to me regarding, again, discussing some of these issues of rezoning. And again, I don't want council to comment on it because it'd be prejudging, but what you have to understand is that there's a rule in law called the time of application rule. And it used to be case law. And basically, what would happen is that an applicant would file an application and municipalities would go ahead and change the zoning so that the application couldn't be developed. Case law developed and saying, nah, you can't do that, right? An applicant has or should be able to rely upon the zoning that exists at the time they file their application. And the town shouldn't, in essence, be able to pull the rug from underneath them. Subsequently, that was codified. It's part of municipal land use law now that says that once an application is filed and deemed complete, then the development regulations that were in effect at the time apply to the applicant. So even if the town, for whatever reason, were to try to rezone it, it would not apply to this applicant. Because he filed at the, he filed with the plan in place and the underlying zoning in place. That's what gets appointed. So the town doesn't have the ability to change the zoning that would affect this particular application. Right? That's just what the law is. And again, if you look at it, there was a reason for that. So I think you're relative to the roads. Now, I would imagine you have a homeowners association, and typically what happens is there's a transition. The developer has so many seats on the HOA. Eventually, there's a number of seats that are transferred over to the homeowners, and at some point, the homeowners become the majority or all the seats. Those types of issues, it's incumbent upon your HOA to enforce to the extent that there needs to be top coat. And again, there's timing issues. I'm not sure, the development's fully built out. Is my understanding not fully built out yet? So typically, top coats aren't put on until it's fully built out. Whatever the additional items that need to be done. That's not unusual. But that's not to say and again, I don't know if the homeowners have all the seats. That's not to say that you don't have any leverage. I mean, you do have leverage relative to the developer to the extent that you have all the seats on the HOA. So you need to go to your HOA, your board, and apply pressure from that perspective to the extent that they're not doing anything. But again, ultimately, your strongest at this point is that the application is the initial hearing in front of the planning board is scheduled for March 26th, and then make the points. As a community, make the points at the planning board. Create a record as to if there's an issue relative to what the developer is proposing. That's where you need to create the record to show, well, maybe there needs to be a bigger buffer. There needs to be a bigger setbacks, right? That it's not too late. It's not a fait accompli. But the council, would not be prudent for this council to comment on that application while it's pending, because I can assure you that just creates an appealable issue that an applicant will win, right? So, anyway, thank you. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I can comment on it. I just have one quick point. So oh yeah, sure.
Very good. Now will be council member comments.
Councilman Asatuli.
Thank you. First, I want to say congratulations to the U.S. men's and women's hockey team for winning the gold medal and bringing it back to the USA. Put your hands up for that. We can all agree on that, right? I would say. Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited. So that being said, I do want to address something tonight, and I want to take a moment about something that's been on everybody's mind, and that is the last few weeks. The First Amendment. The First Amendment guarantees freedoms many people around the world still dream about. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, the right to peacefully assemble, and the right to petition our government. These are not privileges reserved for a select few. They are not rights given to only people we agree with. They belong to every single American. That is what makes the United States truly fantastic. Our Constitution does not protect popular opinions. It protects all opinions. It ensures that every voice matters, whether loud or quiet, whether majority or minority. The strength of our democracy comes from allowing people to speak, to disagree, and to participate only in shaping the future in their communities. Here in Old Bridge, we are more than just a township on a map. We are neighbors, families, veterans, workers, students, and community members who call this place home. Old Bridge is a small but important branch of this great country, and the freedoms guaranteed by the First Amendment live right here in our meetings, in our schools, our houses of worship, and everyday conversations. Every time a resident comes to this podium to share a concern, every time someone expresses an idea for improving our town, we see democracy in action. That is not always easy. Sometimes we hear opinions that challenge us. Sometimes we hear opinions, that are challenging to all of us. But protecting the right to speak, even when it is difficult, is exactly what defines American freedom. And we must never forget why these freedoms are here in the first place. Generations of American veterans fought, sacrificed, and in many cases gave their lives so that we can live in a country where people are free to speak without fear. If they had not defended this nation, we would not be standing here tonight exercising those rights openly. Their sacrifice reminds us that freedom is not automatic. It is protected by courage, service, and responsibility. So tonight, let us remember the First Amendment applies to all of us equally. It calls on us not only to speak, but also to listen. Not only to exercise our rights, but to respect the rights of others. Because when every voice is heard, when every resident feels they belong, and when we treat one another with dignity, we strengthen Old Bridge. And in doing so, we strengthen America itself. So thank you, and God bless our community, our veterans, and the United States of America. Thank you.
Councilman DePalma.
Thank you, Kate. So I know it's getting icy out, and I'm sure, but I just wanted to make sure that I thank DPW as well as the Parks Department for the folks that were out during the storm and continue to be out throughout tonight, and I'm sure through the next couple days to clear up some of the enormity of snow. I know, listen, on my block alone, there is piles high. I still had 8 inches of snow in front of my house until God decided to drop another 24 plus inches on top of it all. I know there has been a lot of complaints. A lot of folks have, voiced some displeasure on how the plowing has gone. I think folks need to, we need to understand that the amount of snow that came down, we have not gotten this amount of snow in a decade. I know that because my wife was showing me pictures. I needed to recreate a picture with my 14-year-old when she was 4 of us sitting in the snow, and she is a heck of a lot bigger, and unfortunately so am I. But just everyone, please bear with the folks that are out there. We have a combination of not only township folks, but also private contractors that we have running around the streets. I went to drive up to work this morning in Jersey City. My block and some of the township roads that I were on was a lot better shape than the county roads were. So our contractors have been out. They were out all night. They were out 18-plus hours. And I believe, Casey, if I'm not mistaken, they're back out at 11 o'clock tonight to be out there. So please bear with the folks that are out there. I understand that you may have gotten ahead of things and you may have gotten your shoveling done early. But unfortunately, when that happens, unfortunately, the snow has to go somewhere. And if the snow is pushed into the street, it's going to be pushed back off to the sidewalk and onto it. Just bear with folks if there are egregious things that are occurring. I know there's some cul-de-sacs that may or may not have been hit. Please reach out to Public Works. They'll be more than happy to come out, take a look, and rectify any major issues that are happening. And besides that, just a friendly reminder of something I did see on my way to work today. If you have 2 feet of snow on top of your car, not a good idea to be on the New Jersey Turnpike, okay? It comes off. Just driving today, there were snow flying everywhere. That can be ticketed and probably will be ticketed. I did see the state police out there. Local police that can enforce it as well. When you leave, please make sure you get rid of all the snow, not just the 2 foot by 2 foot square in front of your window so you could see. You need to see out the entirety of the windshield and the entirety of the back. So please just make sure you're clearing that out, because the police department, as well as state police and any local PD, can go and give you guys tickets. But besides that, please be careful as things melt and ice over at night. Just be careful out there. Thank you.
Councilman Desai.
One more time, kudos and thank you to the Public Works Department headed by Casey and all other employees who work real hard under the condition of 14 to 16 inch snow. I had a many phone call yesterday from Madison Park, and I talked to this morning to our business administration. She quickly found out the answer, and I called those people, and they were so happy. I did explain when they were complaining that main goal to clean the main streets, not the side street. But I think our people work all night and clean most of the side street also all around. So one more time, I really want to applaud the effort of our Public Works Department to keep us safe, because everybody was home yesterday, but everybody has to go today. And this amount of snow to move from somebody's driveway is blocking, it's rough, but I think it works. Thank you one more time.
Councilman Merwin.
This is going to be the Casey thank you tour here. Of course, people don't realize this was a 24-hour storm. Right? We had our streets cleared within 24 hours.
Yes.
It did not seem it, right, when you're out there. But our streets, I was on the ambulance for 36 hours, and the things that I saw the roads. So I'm saying, come on, we got to get these roads clean. But then you realize the time, it didn't stop snowing until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And they did a tremendous job. Of course, everybody, I cleaned it out, and they came by plowing, and they put the plow wash. It's going to happen. 24 inches of snow, where's it going to go? It was a generational storm. And, I had Cheesequake Village. It's 714 senior citizen homes. They didn't do the sidewalks. You couldn't get into them. 3 o'clock this morning, we had a first aid call there. I pull up, and there's a police officer digging a 35-foot path into the house. All right, so my partner went in to take care of the patient. I joined the police officer, and we were clearing it out. And I'm saying, oh, this is nuts. They got to do it. You know what? The same thing we got to give the town that it was done in 24 hours. We got to give to them. They got it done. It was maybe not as quick as we'd like, but again, it was a generational storm. So, everybody involved. The fire companies were amazing. Right? We had a problem, we call them, they come, and they dug us into these places, and we got patients out. I mean, there's at one time we had 3 ambulances stuck in the snow. DPW come out, give us a little push, and we were on our way taking care of the patients. Everybody worked together. The fire companies, both career and volunteers, were all out there taking care of things. The ambulance service never missed a beat. We didn't miss a call, and it was amazing. And so, you know, the public complaining, think about it. In 24 hours, the Township of Old Bridge cleared all the, 500? How many miles of, 174 miles of roadway in 24 hours. You guys got to be commended. So, that's it.
Hold on. Councilman Pasquini,
No comment tonight, thank you.
Councilman Rizzoli. Councilman Von Stetten.
Thank you. Good evening. Again, I want to thank Public Works and Parks and Recs because they also do sidewalks and everything, and both departments have done a wonderful job in town. This was a truly historic storm, and you guys stepped up and did a wonderful job. So thank you for that. I also want to thank the police and first responders for their work during the storm. They were out there in those conditions, and also the healthcare workers. Our healthcare workers in town, a lot of them, they don't get a snow day, so they have to go in. If there's 20 inches of snow on the ground, they're driving in that, and I appreciate their driving through those treacherous conditions to make sure we have healthcare services, make sure that the ambulances have a hospital to go to that's open. As I was digging out and walking in my neighborhood yesterday, I was very happy to see our residents helping each other, shoveling, plowing, on those, some of the backwash from the plows, which is unavoidable. I appreciate how our community just comes together and helps each other during these times, during times of need, and it makes me really proud to be part of this town. So some of the things, other things going on that I wanted to bring up, I wanted to thank the Engineering Department of Parks and Rec for the presentation, the Ticetown soccer fields, and I want to thank the rest of the council for voting yes to submit that. It's really important. I've been with the Old Bridge Soccer Club for many years, and these are sorely needed. And I want to thank the board for the Old Bridge Soccer Club and Artie Zanfini, the president, as well. Without their dedication, this wouldn't be possible either. So thank you for that. We had our Parks and Rec advisory meeting, spoke about a few things. Everything went really well. I brought up adding some more programs, music programs specifically. We'll see how that goes. I want to congratulate the Old Bridge High School wrestling team. They won the Central Jersey Group 5 title and were the runners-up for the overall Group 5 title. They did a very great job, and it was a great season for them. The Old Bridge Symphonic Band needs members, so if you guys are musicians, instrumentalists, you can email oldbridgesymphonic@gmail.com and come and audition. And I just want to give appreciation to one of our Ward 6 residents. His name is Joseph Carreri. He started a nonprofit called Give and Play. Just so you know, Joe, he's a junior at St. Joseph's High School in Metuchen, and he is a Ward 6 resident. His goal is to deliver joy and opportunity to children in our region. He's sponsoring his first toy drive on February 28th from 12 to 3 over in Southwood South River at 90 Leonardine Avenue. I want to congratulate him and the Carreri family on his first toy drive and wish them success in growing that Give and Play organization. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes, I would like to thank the Old Bridge Elks Lodge 2229 for all they do for the special needs community in Old Bridge. We enjoyed the charity ball this last Saturday. It was a wonderful event, but most wonderful was meeting Dimitri Ferrolo. He was the Ambassador of the Year, and Dimitri has a great personality. He shines brightly. He's very funny, and he should consider being a comedian, actually. So it was wonderful meeting his twin sister Alexandra also, and both of his parents. Also, congratulations to Kevin Wall. He's a member of the Old Bridge, he's an employee at the Old Bridge Public Works Department, who was the Citizen of the Year. And actually, I'm so proud of him for his quick response, brave actions. He actually saved lives that day at the animal shelter. So with that said, there's always a lot of good things happening in Old Bridge, and we have to focus on that. People do panic. The main thing is, and I understand when you're a senior or you have a condition with the EMS getting in this snow, but it was unbelievable. And a lot of times people don't consider that trees fall down too, and that like stalls things getting done. So as you said, there's 174 miles. We're a 42 square mile town, but 174 miles of road, that's a lot to cover. And just be prepared for the next snowstorm, because more snow's coming Wednesday, unfortunately. Oh, good. Okay, good. So it's not coming. Is Friday's coming still? All right, all right. Spring, here we come. So stay warm, be safe, and yes, so that's a good time. So I appreciate everyone. Have a good night. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Council President Sohar.
And again, of course, to echo everyone, thank you all so much. I would be remiss if I didn't also mention OEM, Mike Petschauer, and his unbelievable energy that he brings to that position. Everyone. And then, of course, there's the others that are in the background, and that's Anna. Anna, thank you very much. You really did a terrific job in terms of helping coordinate everything. You were on top of everything. I don't think you've slept either in quite a while. So it's a group effort, but I think together, you know, with everybody together, the mayor, all of them, everybody made it a very difficult time, try to make it as best as possible. And the residents too. Thank you for all, you know, all the patience that you show and all the appreciation that you show for all these volunteers and for the police department, for everyone. We're just so very happy to be here in Old Bridge and know that they're taking good care of all of us. So thank you very much. The soccer thing, I think it's great. Thanks for the presentation. Like I said, hopefully I have a little interest there now. I will be there again. But thank you again for all the hard work.
Council President, can I just add
no,
something? I'm sorry.
Yes, absolutely. And
I just wanted to say that the storm started at, 2 p.m. on Sunday?
Yeah.
But our process started at 8 a.m. on Saturday via several phone call meetings, prepping of trucks on Friday, making sure all of that was ready to go so that we wouldn't waste time. We did not wait until the snow stopped Monday to come out. We started Sunday night at 5 p.m., which really is the reason why, like Councilman Merwin said, we were able to be back in operation within 24 hours of the snow stopping, because we started at 5 o'clock at night on Sunday and have been here continuously. Obviously, we do staggered shifts so people can get their breaks, and we want to make sure that our employees are safe. But since then, we've been here since 5 p.m. It is a process that involves the Public Works Department, the Parks Department, the Police Department even got involved and assisted by having 2 of their officers come in also to assist us with the process of clearing their parking lot so that it would make the process faster so our officers could get in and out as needed. Our fire department, as Councilman Merwin said, also OB Thames, Lawrence Harbor First Aid, everybody. I mean, this was a true team effort. I even have to say this morning, I reached out to Casey for probably the 100th time over the last 3 days and asked him, give me an update on the county roads. I want to see what's going on. And he's like, some concerns on, a few roads and stuff like that. I reached out to John Carroll, the director at the Office of Government Affairs at the county. Him and I had been texting the last 2 days, and within 2 hours of my text, those roads are taken care of. And I know that for a fact because I took an hour and a half drive this afternoon through all of those roads to make sure they were taken care of. So, I think communication is key. Communicate with us, be patient with us, and it will get done. We are aware of the issue on 516 East. There is a drain clog. The county is aware of it. They've been trying to work on it. Obviously, with the snow, it got more difficult, so there is a puddle there. With the temperatures dropping tonight, it might be icy, so just be careful with that. Like I said, I spoke with John Carroll again today on that, and they hope to get back a crew out there to take care of that right away. But as you can see, it's a collaborative effort from every entity, the county. We even got a call from the state. Mayor got a call from the state, from the Office of the Governor, to check in on our town. Technically, the township is still under a state of emergency for funding purposes, should that become available. So we do have still that in place. If funding becomes available, we do have to let the county know on Monday what our costs have been thus far. And, we're just going to keep going through it. So thank you. Thank you.
Mary.
Yeah, in the middle of this, Casey's family lost his electric for almost the whole day. Oh, I just want to make a comment if I can. JCP&L in the past, we used to have a problem, but they have a new representative now, Jose Ortiz. He is amazing. I told him I was going to thank him. He is doing such a wonderful job. When residents were having problems and I reached out, he was right on top of it. And I think we should have him come here to one of our meetings. He's actually going to meet with a lot of our seniors because there's a lot of unused programs that our seniors don't know that they're eligible for. And there was $10 million last year that went back into the budget because people didn't apply, they didn't know. So we don't want that to happen. We have a lot of senior communities here in town. So he's going to come here and we're going to inform the seniors of all this money that's available to them. But I just want to really compliment on a wonderful job that he did this last storm.
Anna, do we have an idea of what the storm cost us, or?
Not yet. So there's a threshold that the county as a whole has to meet in order to be eligible for reimbursement, and that's about just over $4 million. So right now, the county, tomorrow I'll have more information as to what dates and times are eligible. Just keep in mind, only overtime costs would be reimbursed, and I think some material costs, so salt and things like that, I think might be eligible also, but I don't know yet. We're gonna start working on those reports. Once they tell me I can do it from Sunday to Tuesday, I'm not sure yet. They haven't let us know that information.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Motion by Councilman Asatuli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Councilman Merwin. Councilman Pasquitti. Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. And Council President Solar.
Yes.
Mark, before you go, I know